Oh, hey, what's up, you guys? How's it going? It's Papa, and today I did a poll on my YouTube community, and I had asked you guys if you were more interested in the different formats that I have been playing. I have been playing Edison, I have been playing hat format. I wanted to know what you guys wanted to see, and you guys actually selected on hat profiles. So I'm not going to be stopping advanced format because I do enjoy advanced format a lot still, actually, and honestly, I wanted to go ahead and show you guys some more range to my channel. I wanted to be able to show you guys more forms of content, something that's different, something that other people don't necessarily do. And today I'm going to be showing you guys a hat format deck profile, and this is going to be my Lightsworn ruler list that I have been playing. Now, Lightsworn rulers, you will see people like Patrick Hoban, ranging from all the other great pros that have played the game. This is probably one of my favorite decks from the format. It would probably be, if I had to rank them, it would be Hat, the Hands Artifact Track Tricks that I showed you guys on the channel already, so if you haven't already, go check that video out. And then right after Hat, we have the Lightsworn rulers, and then if we do eventually get to it, depending on how this video does, then I will be showcasing you guys my Boojin list as well. So if you guys are interested in seeing a Boojin deck profile, let me know in the comment section down below, and if you want to see any more hat related content, whether it's another deck profile, whether it is a duel video, just let me know. But yeah guys, of course, since we are doing a retro profile, I had to fit Lightsworn in there somewhere because of course Lightsworn is probably my favorite archetype in the game's history, so I basically have a Lightsworn deck for every single format. And today I'm going to be showcasing you guys my hat format Lightsworn ruler deck. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and jump into it. But of course, as always, before we do jump into things, I just want to let you guys know to please like and subscribe for more videos, because if you like and subscribe, it lets me know that I'm doing something right. So starting off the deck profile, of course, we are on 3 copies of Judgment Dragon. So of course, people that don't know, Judgment Dragon, you can only special summon this card when you have 4 or more different Lightsworn names in your graveyard. And then also, during the end phase, you get to mill 4 cards from your deck, but the most important effect of Judgment Dragon is that you can pay 1,000 life points to destroy all other cards on the field, and of course it is a 3,000 attack dragon, so you definitely get easy access to this card due to Eclipse Wyvern, so if you mill it, it's not the end of the world, you will get it back. Complementing the Judgment Dragon is the 1 copy of the Light Ray Diabolos. This card must be special summoned from the hand by having 5 or more light monsters with different names in the graveyard, and then once per turn you can banish a light monster from your graveyard to target a set card your opponent controls, reveal it, and then you can return it to either the top or the bottom of the deck. So of course you can target like a set monster, so if you target like a fire hand or like an ice hand, then you can put it at the bottom of the deck so that way your opponent doesn't have access to it. It's also really good against back row, so Diabolos has its many usages for the deck, but you only really need 1 because you can always add this card back. Moving on to one of my favorite parts of the deck is the Dragon Rulers. Now, for those that don't know, the Dragon Rulers actually did just come off the ban list fairly recently, but in this last ban list, they actually all came back to 2, but we play 1 copy of Blaster, 1 copy of Tidal, and 1 copy of Tempest, so basically you only need 1 of each. Arguably, you could probably cut the Tidal because you don't really need it, but I like having it as just an extra form of a monster. Basically, the Dragon Rulers all work by banishing 2 dragons and or their respective attribute from the hand or graveyard, and then you get to special summon them out. During the end phase of your opponent's turn, if this card was special summoned by its own effect, then you have to put it back in your hand, which is a little unfortunate, but you mainly use these to basically make your rank 7 plays, so it's very good there. But you only need these. I mean, granted, the Dragon Rulers are at 1, but honestly, the one that's mainly debatable is Tidal, but I do like having the 2600 attack because it just hits over most cards in the format, and honestly, just having 1 of each ruler just feels really nice to play. So I only play 1 of each. One of the debatable ones is Redox. The reason I don't play Redox is because Redox is just one of the more weaker monsters, so you definitely don't need it. It could be the same thing as the other Dragon Rulers, but honestly, I just really like these 3. I think they do just enough. Basically, why the Dragon Rulers are so good, we play 3 copies of Eclipse Wyvern. Now, what Eclipse Wyvern says is that if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can banish 1 level 7 or higher light or dark dragon type monster from your deck, and if this card is banished in the graveyard, then you can add the monster banished by its own effect to your hand. So one of the best parts about Eclipse Wyvern is that if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can banish your copy of Judgment Dragon, and then you can banish the Eclipse Wyvern for say a Dragon Ruler effect, and then you can basically add the Judgment Dragon right back. So it's a little cheating way to get your dragon monsters into your hand. It's basically better than playing Gold Sark, but the card is also just very good. It's also level 4, so it helps you with your rank 4 plays. You definitely need to play 3 of it. And then of course, my favorite cards in the deck, we are on 2 copies of Raiden, 3 copies of Lumina, double copies of Lila. What I like about 2 Lila is because since this is a much slower time in the game, a lot of people are essentially playing trap cards and playing like Book of Moon, Forbidden Lance, so this is basically just your answer to get rid of those cards so you can just essentially keep playing the game. We then played 1 copy of Garoth, 1 copy of Jane, 1 copy of Aaron, 1 copy of Wolf. You don't need 3. 1 Wolf is more than enough. Trust me, you will brick on multiple of this. You just need 1. And then the last Lightsworn we play is the 1 copy of the Baby Minerva, just because it's basically brand new at the time this deck was being played. Raiden is a powerhouse. Minerva is also just as good because this card can also help you search JD as well. And one of the important parts is that it is a level 3 tuner, so this gives you access to Michael, gives you access to cards like Black Rose, whatever it is that you need for your situation. But that's going to do it for the Lightsworn lineup. It is very, very standard in terms of hat format if you have seen other hat lists before. Next, we are on 3 copies of Necrogardna. This is also very standard. Since you are essentially milling out your whole deck, odds are you are going to need one of these to help end the battle phase, and it is also a level 3, so if you need a normal summon it, you can to make cards like Alucard to make Leviair. Mechquip Engineer is also a really good card that I play, but Necrogardna does have its usages, so I definitely think you need 3 of it. And then probably my favorite card in the deck is 3 copies of Curry Bandit. I think this card is just insane, just for what it does. Basically, for those that don't know, what Curry Bandit says is that during the end phase, if this card is normal summoned this turn, you contribute this card and excavate the top 5 cards of your deck, and you can add 1 spell or trap to your hand. So you're essentially adding cards like Soul Charge, you could add Charge of the Light Brigade, you could add Needlebug Nest, basically whatever you need. You can add, and then worst comes to worst, all the other cards go into the graveyard, so you can get your Eclipse Wyvern in there, you can get your Lightsworn names in there, your Dragon Rulers, whatever it may be. Curry Bandit just does so much for the deck. It's essentially another Lightsworn, so why not play 3 of it? Moving on to the spells, we play the 1 copy of Allure of Darkness. Curry Bandit is a dark level 3, so of course, I mean, why wouldn't you want to play Allure? I mean, granted, you only need the 1, and most of the time it's getting milled anyway, so it's just a free +1 if you happen to draw it. And then 1 copy of Foolish Burial. This card becomes any card in your deck, essentially. 1 copy of Book of Moon, just because it is an extra form of interruption. And then we play 1 copy of Charge of the Light Brigade, because we are trying to see our Lightsworn cards. I wish this card was at more than 1, but unfortunately, it is only at 1, so you have to play the 1. And then, of course, we are playing 3 copies of Sulfur Recharge, because the card is just so busted. It's basically the draw power and consistency of the deck, so you have to play 3. And then probably the best card in the deck is 3 copies of Soul Charge. So I opt for 3 copies of Soul Charge because, again, you are milling basically your whole deck in this build. So you want to be able to bring everything back from the grave. So it basically just helps for more Xyz plays. It helps you for synchroing. It basically helps you like push your game, whatever it may be. I mean, granted, you can't attack the turn you activate this card, but Soul Charge is definitely a 3 of, because odds are you're going to mill 1 eventually, and then worst comes to worst, you can always get one of these off of Curry Bandit, so you definitely want to see this card as soon as you can. But that's going to go ahead and round off the spell lineup. And then for the trap cards, there's not really a lot. We only play 3. We play 2 copies of Needlebug Nest, basically just another way of getting cards into the graveyard. Basically on activation, not once per turn, you just get to send the top 5 cards from the deck to the grave. And then since we are playing so many mill cards, we play 1 copy of Breakthrough Skill. I really like Breakthrough Skill. I honestly do. You could play a 3rd Needlebug Nest if you really wanted to, if you don't like Breakthrough Skill in this deck, but I like it because it just helps you beat cards like Mermelio. It helps you beat, what else? Abyss Megalo is also very good. Kirgi Armor, basically just anything problematic. It's just there for whatever situation you need. So that's going to do it for the traps. That is going to go ahead and do it for the main deck. I believe it is about 40 cards. It might be 41, honestly, but I believe it is 40. If not, then correct me in the comments, because you guys love to do that for me. And then moving on to the extra deck, we have the 1 Michael, the Arc Lightsworn. Not really too many synchros, but this is a powerhouse for those that don't know what Michael does. It was basically brand new at the time. So Michael reads that once per turn, you can pay 1,000 life points and then target a card on the field and banish it. So basically what Judgment Dragon does, but essentially you're banishing only one card as opposed to blowing up the field, so it's a little bit worse, but honestly the card is also very good because it banishes it, it completely removes it from the field, so you can banish cards like Armor, you can banish Fire and Ice hands. It's very, very strong. And then also when this card is destroyed, you can target any number of other Lightsworn monsters in your graveyard and shuffle them into the deck. And if you do, you gain 300 life points for each returned card. So it helps you basically pay back your soul charge fees. So that's very nice as well. And it also makes it to where you hopefully don't deck out while you're playing. And then of course, its last effect is that you get to mill 3 cards in the end phase. So that's just another way of getting cards into the graveyard. And then we are playing 1 copy of Black Rose. Black Rose honestly barely comes up for me when I've been playing. I think the Michael has come up more because we play JD, so that basically does the work for you. But I honestly wouldn't play the deck without Black Rose anyway. And then we play 1 copy of Scrap Dragon. It's just more removal. I just think the card is very strong, and it's a level 8. So basically you can use this to make your Felgrand if you wanted to, but the card is very good, and 2800 is also nothing to sneeze at. So only 3 synchros in the extra deck. Moving on to the Xyz monsters, we play 1 copy of Mechquip and Ganir. This card is very, very cool. I really like what this card does for the deck. It basically saves you from dying when you can just summon this card, use its effect to protect itself, and then it makes it to where you don't die for the turn. It's basically for if you don't have Necrogardna in the graveyard. And then we play 1 copy of Leviair. Card's very strong. It basically just keeps recycling all of your banished cards. And then 1 copy of Alucard. Card is amazing, honestly. Alucard is basically just spell trap removal, so it's very good. It comes up in a few instances, but I wouldn't play the deck without it. Probably my favorite cards in the deck are the rank 4s. We play 1 copy of Honor Arc, just for being able to get some problems off of the field. 1 copy of Paladynamo. Card doesn't come up too much, but I still like it in the deck. 1 copy of Exciton Knight, just being able to board wipe is very good because there wasn't a lot of that back then, so Exciton was definitely the card. 1 copy of Lavalval Chain. For those that don't know, this card is bonkers in this format. Being able to stack your deck any way you like is very good, so why not play it? And then 1 copy of Diamond Direwolf, just more forms of board clearance. 1 copy of Cowboy, just in case you go for game. And then 1 Draco Sack, because all of your Dragon Rulers are level 7, so it essentially helps you get other problems off of the field. 1 Big Eye for clearing monsters, and of course the 1 copy of Felgrand to round off the extra deck. But yeah guys, that is going to go ahead and do it for the deck profile. Now I know this is a different format. It is something that I haven't really showcased you guys in at least like a year or two. I think now was the last time I showed the hat profile that I posted. That was Corey McDuffie's list, Long Live the King. And honestly, I really do like this format. I think it's a lot of fun. It's just a much slower Yu-Gi-Oh! So it's like right in between Edison and advanced format. I really think this format is slept on. I think it's a lot of fun, and I really encourage you guys to give it a try. Again, if you guys want to see a Bujin deck profile, let me know in the comment section down below, and let me know what other retro content you'd like to see. But until next time guys, this has been Papa, and I will catch you all in my next video.